Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Bettina Ray. Here you'll find everything to do with yoga and fertility, pregnancy, birth and early motherhood. So if you like what I share here, I would love if you would subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video, and also give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment, because I really do love hearing what you think, and I really do want this to be a conversation, not just me talking to you. So in today's video, what I want to talk about is giving up coffee for fertility and pregnancy. I want to talk about how I gave it up, why I gave it up, and I just want to share my thoughts and experience on it. So a lot of people will tell you that you need to give up coffee if you're trying to conceive, and especially as soon as you fall pregnant, they're like, oh, you really shouldn't drink so much coffee. So let's talk about coffee and why it's such a problem, so you can make a good decision about it. So obviously it's not the coffee that's the problem, it's the caffeine within it. And so you'll find caffeine in black tea, you'll find caffeine in chocolate, there's caffeine in obviously any of your colas if you're still drinking that sort of stuff. So there's caffeine in a lot of other food and drinks other than just coffee. Why is caffeine so bad? What it does is it puts your body on that high alert, and you felt it, that's why we like it. It gives us what we call energy, but it's really that adrenaline that it gives us. It spikes that hormone in our body, and it kind of gives us that up and go, which is why we love it so much. Unfortunately, when you're trying to conceive, and we've spoken about it before, you don't want to be telling the body at all that you're stressed. So the body thinking that daily it needs to run and flee might not be the best signal for you to send to your body when you're trying to conceive a baby. That does not mean that people who drink lots of coffee cannot conceive, because obviously we see it everywhere. People are drinking coffee and they're falling pregnant. But if you are having trouble trying to conceive, like I've said before, I see fertility as this like jigsaw puzzle of things that you kind of need to find the right combination for you. Giving up coffee might be one of those that for you really helps to bring you down from the stress and anxiety that it can create and help you conceive. Now, during pregnancy, it's the same sort of thing. There have been lots of studies done on coffee, and the current recommendation in most countries is that you can have 1 or 2 cups, depending on the strength of the coffee, and that you're going to be okay. So whatever you eat is obviously not going straight to your baby, it's being processed through your liver, and if you have lots of it and your liver can't deal with it, then some of it may be passed through. But if you're only having a little bit, the chances are that your body is processing that caffeine without sending any of it to your baby anyway. So for me, giving up coffee, I drank coffee throughout my first 2 pregnancies. No problem at all. I was probably having 1 or 2 cups a day. Never even gave it a thought. I remember saying it doesn't make me stay up late, though in hindsight I did stay up fairly late. It didn't affect my sleep, or so I thought, and I had no problems with it. Drank it throughout the 3rd pregnancy that I lost, continued to drink it through the 4th and the 5th. Didn't really give it a thought as this is the thing that's a problem. Like I said, I was only drinking 1 or 2 cups. Possibly towards my last loss, it was maybe a little bit more than that, because I was quite anxious and I was kind of on this cycle where I felt like I needed coffee, but it was still probably never more than 3 cups a day. And then once we stopped trying to conceive and we took that big break and I really looked at my health, and so I was going to a naturopath and an acupuncturist and really working on calming my anxiety and sort of discovering my anxiety really, because I hadn't realized I even had it. I started to notice when I had that first cup of coffee in the morning that I could feel it in my body. I could feel the anxiety and the adrenaline that this caffeine was causing in my body, and I started to not like it because it felt the same as my anxiety over losing a baby, my anxiety over the stress in my life. It was just that same feeling, and I was starting to feel like, maybe this isn't so good for me. And so at that point, I really did just stop drinking it. And I know everyone says you can't just go cold turkey, and I know this because I had tried to give up many times in the past, probably 3 years before that, just because I knew coffee really wasn't that great for me. But it wasn't until I could feel the anxiety that it created in my body and how it made my anxiety worse that it was really just like, okay, I can give it up now. And to be honest, I had no real side effects from giving it up. I don't really remember headaches. I don't really remember being overly any more tired than I already was. But to be honest, I was also grieving. So I was also in quite a bad place physically and mentally anyway. So giving up coffee didn't seem to affect me in any extra additional way anyway. So I just I was kind of laying low at the time, wasn't doing too much work. And coffee seemed to be an easy thing to give up. So after falling pregnant and getting to 21 weeks now, have I considered taking up coffee again? I have considered it. I do like the smell of coffee. I do like the ritual of coffee. I haven't really found anything to replace it, but I guess I just still remember that feeling of anxiety that it was giving me, and I don't want to go back there. So I haven't been tempted. I haven't had a cup of coffee since I gave up. There was never like, oh, I'm really just going to have one. It just was like gone for me. Physically, I've definitely noticed my energy levels are a lot calmer. I used to have that big, okay, boom, do all the things in the morning, and by 3 o'clock, it would be like crash, burn, give me all the sugar, give me another coffee. But these days, I'm just kind of like cruising along. I don't really have that big burst and then crash, which I think was definitely the cup of coffee that I was having in the morning, sometimes 2 cups, which was affecting that mood and that energy level. Now it's quite normal and calm throughout the whole day. So the question is, I guess, should you give up coffee when you are trying to conceive or if you are pregnant? It's 100% up to you. I think listen to your body and how your body feels on caffeine. If it feels fine, if you've done a lot of work to calm down and to de-stress and it's still okay, maybe it's okay with you. Maybe you can keep having your cup of coffee. Don't feel guilty about it. But if you notice that it isn't making you feel great, that maybe you are having that big crash as well, maybe start to look at how much caffeine you're having and whether it is affecting you. So it really is an individual choice. I hope that this helps you make a decision about caffeine in your journey. Let me know how you go if you try to give it up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do so that you catch the next video, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.